Did you know that 7 million hectares of forest are logged each year? Hi, my name is Jack.
Hi, my name is Professor Friedrich Aker.
This is our artist, Hanneke. And this is René Boot from Tropenbos International.
And in this movie I'm going to tell you about the biodiversity in certified forests. Worldwide, most forests are logged in a conventional way. Due to logging, trees are damaged, which leads to higher mortality rates. In addition, logging alters the canopy cover and damages basal areas. Canopy cover damage in the tropics can for example be caused by cutting trees that are covered in lianas, which interlink multiple trees. When one of these trees is cut down, the other trees will be damaged severely. The conventional logging damages the forest ecosystem. This can affect the biodiversity within the forest. In conventionally logged forests, no measures are taken to restore the ecosystem and its biodiversity. So how can logging be sustainable? Well, forest logging is sustainable when it's economically viable, it preserves the natural capital, and at the same time represents the interest of local communities. This can be accomplished via certification. Companies that believe their logging practices to be sustainable can apply for a certification mark. An independent third party assesses the sustainability of the forest logging practices. This is assessed via a special criteria and via special standards that are established by the certification company. Only companies that are certified are allowed to use this certification mark. An important requirement for forest certifications are environmentally aware consumers that are willing to pay the price premium of certified product. There are many certification companies, but we will focus on the Forest Stewardship Council, also called the FSC.
The FSC works with 10 standards for sustainability to certify production forest, which are based on economic, social and environmental aspects. The standards are further specified via criteria. Via the criteria, great attention is paid to the conservation of biodiversity. Criteria include an environmental impact assessment, the maintenance of rare, threatened or endangered species and their habitats, and the protection of representative samples of ecosystems.
Although principles and criteria are set for the management of biodiversity in certified forests, it doesn't necessarily mean that certification improves the value of certified forests for biodiversity. Does certified forest management lead to a better conservation of biodiversity than conventional forest management?
In certified forests, 6 measures can be taken to limit the impact on the forest ecosystem and biodiversity. Number 1 is reduced impact logging. This is a strategy to reduce the impact of logging on the environment. Here you see some examples. Before logging, lianas are cut, so the tree won't drag down or damage other trees when harvested. Furthermore, only valuable trimmer trees of a certain diameter are cut down. Trees that are located on slopes are not logged to prevent erosion. This results in less fragmentation and degradation of the forest. Reduced impact logging is frequently applied in the tropics. Number 2 is the management of the riparian buffer zone. Trees within the riparian zones are not cut to prevent erosion and damage to other plants. Another measure is to build bridges over the rivers so that the river flow is not blocked. Riparian buffer zone management is mostly applied in temperate zones. Number 3 is the retention of green trees. Unlike number 1, this method doesn't revolve around the time-consuming selection of trees, but just leaves enough trees standing to provide seeds for the resettlement of the forest. This method is mostly used in temperate and boreal regions where tree diversity is low, so the same forest will emerge anyway. Number 4. Protected areas can be appointed within production forests. These are areas where no resource extraction is permitted. This protects areas that are sensitive to logging. That's it. Number 5. High conservation value forest areas can also be protected from logging. These are areas that contain an unusually high number of rare species that are of critical importance to local communities because it provides them resources. High conservation value forest areas are mostly appointed in the tropics. Number 6. Corridors can be created and restored between isolated habitat patches, which can help mitigate or reverse the impact of fragmentation. This is done by establishing corridors between unlogged patches in logged forests. This reduces biodiversity loss by protecting specific habitats and providing connectivity. However, do all these practices conserve biodiversity?
Does certified forest logging lead to a better conservation of biodiversity than conventional forest logging?
qua biodiversiteit op het gebied van planten en elders, dat zeg maar de exploitatie niet zo ver weg is. Op het gebied van invertebraten is dat ook hetzelfde, op het gebied van memmersalten is dat eigenlijk ook. Dus dan moet je denken aan procentuele afnames van, nou wat zal het zijn, 5%, 6%, 9%, zo is het echt een hele brede concentratie. Alleen bij de vogels zie je dan nog meer, precies van 15%. Dat laat eigenlijk zien dat als je het goed doet, de impact van houtkat, gereduceerde houtkat, vooral voor het bosbeheer, op de biodiversiteit gering is.
According to a study from POETS, all forest management practices affect biodiversity to a greater or lesser extent. However, it is clear that sustainable logging has a lower impact on biodiversity than conventional logging. Especially protected areas in combination with reduced impact logging has a small impact on biodiversity compared to conventional logging practices. However, more research is necessary to improve sustainable forestry and to further clarify its effect on biodiversity.
In de praktijk is het eigenlijk dat als je je houdt aan de nationale wetgeving, dan ben je al bijna gecertificeerd. Dus je hoeft nog maar heel weinig extra kosten te maken om gecertificeerd te worden. Terwijl als je een overheid hebt die helemaal niks eist, doe maar wat. Ja, dan is het gat tussen wat mensen in de praktijk doen en dat wat je moet doen om gecertificeerd te zijn, is veel groter en brengt dus ook een kosten met zich mee.
Because certification helps conserve biodiversity, it is vital that as much forest is certified as possible, especially in the tropics, for which it was developed. So what are the problems surrounding the forest certification in the tropics?
So there are three major reasons for unpopularity of certification in the tropics. 1. There are not that many good trees per hectare, which means not that much income. 2. The government just gives areas to a company, but there are locals living there, so they get in conflict. 3. The governments in these tropical countries are really unstable, which means the rules can change constantly. Companies don't like this and don't want to invest in certified forests.
En dat is denk ik ja, het typische probleem van bosbeheer in de tropen, is die onzekerheden die ermee te maken hebben, waardoor mensen minder geneigd zijn om te investeren in duurzaamheid. Bolivia is toch een goed voorbeeld geweest eigenlijk. In Bolivia hebben ze in de jaren 96 de nieuwe boswet aangenomen. Toen hebben ze gezegd van, dat is in principe voor 2 tot 40 jaar. Dus je krijgt een concessie voor 40 jaar. Dus dat gaat ze naar 80. Daar kunnen we iets mee doen. Maar vervolgens komt dan nog geen, dat was volgens mij in 96, ik denk dat de nieuwe president is dat volgens mij 2002 of 2003 gekomen. En die heeft dan een radicaal ander idee. Die zegt dat ja, ik vind helemaal niet dat die bossen aan die concessie aan het bedrijfsleven moeten worden gegeven. Die moeten misschien dan wel dat we in hebben getroffen. Dus we gaan alle contracten intrekken. Ja, nou ja, daar zit je met je investeren.
So we can conclude that certification helps to conserve biodiversity. Nonetheless, many problems have to be solved to increase its popularity in the tropics. Only then, a larger area of tropical forest can be certified and biodiversity can be conserved. And if you want to make a difference,
do it! Just do it!
like he said, just do it. Thanks for watching.